You're listening to the BNI Effect, the podcast for Brisbane entrepreneurs who believe in givers gain. I'm Tony Meredith. Ordinarily, I'm a business coach who specialises in sales and leadership, but today I'm your host. In this episode, I chat to another BNI member to explore their biggest wins, biggest lessons, and how you can get the most out of your BNI membership. This is episode number 81, and today's guest is Derek Burden from DCB Digital. Welcome, Derek.
Thank you, Tony. Good afternoon. Thanks for the opportunity to talk.
Hey, thank you for being here. Let's get right into it. What's the best referral you've ever given or received through BNI?
Um, I think I've got a good example that's kind of covers both, actually, Tony. So, a couple of years ago, so a current client, a client who is in the education space, so I had no prior relationship to this client. It speaks just, I think, to the power of the BNI network. So, commercial cleaner in a sister chapter, so not even in the chapter that I'm in, introduced this particular business to the electrician in my chapter. And so just so happened, electrician who, if you know him, his name is Brody from Bricks Electrical, give him a plug, really real people person. And so I was talking to the managers and overheard them talking about how they needed some help with their digital marketing, which is what we do. And so he ended up introducing this business to us. A few conversations later, we ended up working with them, which is great. We've still got a great relationship. And then since then, also our IT person and our photographer has also been introduced and helped that person. So what's that? It's like, five referrals in one, which just shows, I think anyway, like a great demonstration of how the network can work and you can just support one another.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about the multiple referrals. So, what a great example. When did you first discover BNI, Derek?
Yeah, so I've actually just renewed for my second time. So a little bit over 2 years being involved in BNI. Prior to this, I know it's not your direct question, but prior to this, I was involved in corporates. This is my first time actually owning and running a business. So came in, and you come in naive. So I didn't even know about the BNI network, if I'm being completely honest. Now, outside of BNI, I'm actually part of a digital marketing network. And I believe actually a couple of previous podcast guests of yours, Tony, part of the same network. And through there, um, it seemed really common that a lot of people that had done really well in growing their businesses were still involved in BNI. I was like, I must research on that. So me being me, jumped straight online. Actually, I think I completed an application straight away before even visiting. And then someone by the name of Lisa Gills, our executive director for the Brisbane Southwest region, reached out to me, said, hold your horses, Derek. You need to kind of go and visit a few chapters and see if it's right for you. And so I did exactly that. I visited all the chapters in my local area. And I, to be honest, I actually, and again, it's not even a plug. It's completely like honest. Like I actually wanted to join the very first visit. I was like, yeah, I want to join this one. Then, I did the right thing and visited a few other chapters. But that's essentially how I was introduced to it. A little bit different to others, but through like another networking group.
How far into your journey in business was this, Derek?
Great question. Right at the start.
Right.
So we are now like, just shy of 2.5 years old. So we're a really young business. And so when I put in my application to BNI, we just started. I think you count on one hand the amount of clients that we had at that particular time. Um, Fast forward today, my wife, because I started the business on my own, while my wife, who had a government job at the time, was kind of just, keeping the stability side of things while we got off the ground. Fast forward to today, she's in the business with me full time. So we're a husband and wife team, and we've got a team of five full-time staff and some contractors as well. So it's been an amazing journey, actually. Yeah, and BNI has been just such a big part of it.
Now, you mentioned in that first visit that you were ready to go. Let me at it. I want to get involved, and you were encouraged to go and see a few more chapters. What was it about that very first visit that encouraged you to want to sign on the dotted line?
I think the structure, and by that I mean, again, naive. I didn't know what BNI is, and maybe some listeners, like didn't or don't know or know of people that don't know about BNI. And I thought maybe, it might have just been. I didn't realize about the structure, so I didn't know if it was just kind of catching up and having coffee and things like that. Like I was really naive, Tony, but what attracted me was the structure and when, just how there's no time wasted, like because we're all busy. So, like that commitment piece, especially when you're starting out, like, man, how am I going to commit to this every single week? But that's what kind of, I really liked. I like structure, kind of like a results driven kind of personality too. And, like seeing and hearing all the stories and all the referrals being passed around the room. I was just like, and then also just a positive energy too, because like, there's everyone was so welcoming in all the chapters that I visited. And that's something we try and follow now. But all of those things combined, I was just, I kind of knew I'd be doing myself a disservice. I wasn't able to, be a part of that environment.
So when did you realize that BNI was going to be worth it for you?
Um, I think again, pretty much straight away, like we all, not, actually, I shouldn't speak for others, but I think it's quite common that a lot of people who join BNI are doing it to grow. So I was no different. We just had a new business and we wanted to grow. And so there's a part of you that is like, you're going in there wondering, are people actually going to want to do business with me and this and that? But funny enough, I knew really early on, if not like week one, that I wanted to be there. It wasn't actually about the growth anymore. It was just about the environment, about the people, about like having other people to bounce off. And I was actually talking about it recently at our weekly meeting. In that, what's quite cool in our chapter, because I joined a startup chapter, and there's a number of businesses who are still involved today. I know it's only a couple of years, but we're on a similar journey. Like people who are just starting out, and now we look back and we're like, man, look, you've grown, and someone else has acquired another business, and this and that. So, yeah, it's a bit of a long-winded answer, sorry, but yeah, straight away is when I knew.
Excellent. What do you consistently do in BNI that brings you and your business results?
Um, I'd like to think um, I'd like to think that I bring a consistently positive influence. And I've spoken to you about this one-on-one too, because I think that you're someone that I also feel or I aspire to be like in my chapter. And because I've got two young kids, sometimes it's hard yakka, sometimes I'm sleep deprived, whatever it is. But I like to think that the positive, consistent attitude that I bring, yeah, I'd hope that the members in my chapter agree. I think that serves me well. And then otherwise, the other thing that I've learned, which is a skill, and it's still a skill that I feel like can be, you never master it. It's really like it's really trying to help others. There's one thing like, the obvious connections when, I don't know, if someone needs, I used an electrician before. So if someone needs an electrician, oh yeah, I know an electrician. But it's like, it's that next layer of really listening to the types of businesses that people are looking to connect to, looking for, like, or maybe not even directly businesses they want to connect to, but really listening to people's problems or challenges and trying to go outside, of their expectations to help. I know it kind of sounds, like, or it could sound kind of insincere or fabricated, but it's not. Like it's kind of like that. For me anyway, when like those relationships where, and even on the receiving end, when I've been receiving end of like the referral I shared to you earlier, Tony, it's those kind of things and those kind of actions for me that certainly has helped, like get better and better results out of BNI.
So what is it that the mistake that you see members do that potentially holds them back, Derek?
Um, can I say two or one?
Say as many as
Uh,
you want, mate. It's your podcast.
uh,
So,
yeah, I think and I don't want to sound negative with these, but I think one I almost call it like entitlement that like and in fact it's not like overly common, but if anyone who's considering joining thinks that just by, just showing up and being present, that's automatically going to, like lead to amazing success. I'd challenge that. I just don't think. I think, you really do need to, or need to, but I think you're going to get better results if you really do more than just rock up and expect referrals to come your way. It's kind of like, whatever the opposite of entitlement is, like earning, like earning respect, earning referrals, earning business, like that whole sense of earning, I think is really important. And probably the other one, is, again, I'll call it like the scarcity mindset, like, if, for people that may think that for me to win, someone else has to lose, that kind of like zero sum game. Again, I think that's a mistake. If I think about my business and the businesses in the chapter, that I'm a part of now, none of them existed, or few of them existed a couple of years ago. So, like, and the clients that we're working with, some existed, some didn't exist. So that whole idea of, like, if someone in a similar industry to you earns business, that's effectively your lost business. I think that's, like, a limiting factor that's just going to stop, some of the collaborations. Like, I've had great collaborations with people that do what I do, as an example, so that'd be the two.
Yeah, fantastic. And the way that I would sum up one of those is that BNI is a phenomenal system and process, but it doesn't operate on its own. It's been around for 40 years. It works. It works in all corners of the globe, but it won't operate itself. So for you to maximize the most out of your BNI membership, it's about follow the system and trust the process. Then I love the fact that you're talking about, the opposite of scarce mindset, which is obviously abundant mindset, and that is that there is enough out there for all of us. And if you haven't found what it is that you're looking for, then you just need to look a little bit harder, because whatever you're looking for is out there with your name on it. So wonderful examples. Thanks, Derek. Let's talk about your business. So can you give us an overview of you, your business, and the main services or products that you offer?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Yeah, so DCB Digital's our business's name, so husband and wife team. And essentially, we help businesses grow, and scale, like, online. And so our services, or our service offering, search engine optimization, paid advertising, and web design. So, like, yeah, people may or may not have heard of acronyms like SEO and things like that. But, essentially what we do is we partner with businesses to help them grow their presence online, with the idea of being that, we'll help them generate a positive return from their marketing. They'll, grow their presence, and therefore grow the amount of inquiries coming into their business through an online sense.
So you talked about an acronym, SEO. So for those who don't know, what is that, Derek?
Yeah, so search engine optimization, which is essentially, and SEO as the acronym is evolving, with AI and things like ChatGPT and Gemini and the like. But essentially, when people are searching for a product or service online, I mean, so it's different than physical. But when someone's searching online, like the most common place is Google, where someone will search for a product or service. And so what we do is we help businesses, essentially get shown, in the areas, whether it's product and service wise and or location wise, ahead of their competitors. And so paid advertising helps, support that, because paid advertising, as the name suggests, you're, paying for, the privilege, if you like, of being displayed in search results. Search engine optimization is more of the organic way, which is more earned. And so it's like a little bit less predictable when you can unlock search engine optimization. It's, like yeah, it's like the utopia. Now, again, that's a very biased, SEO person's way, but I think it's, all businesses in some way, shape, or form, especially products or services, are probably working on SEO even if they don't know it.
What makes your business different to others?
So I think there's a couple of things. One of them is, like, there are some, agencies, especially the bigger ones, because we're still small and growing, kind of like jacks of all trades. That's not us. We, like, as an example, we don't do, social media management, as an example. We do social media paid advertising, but, we, specialize, in particular with search engine optimization and paid advertising. And web design for us, again, just in terms of what makes us different, we'll build, rebuild, or renovate a website when we feel like it's going to help search engine optimization. There's some businesses that, for various reasons, search engine optimization or traffic may not be like a primary goal. So they might be more into branding. And again, we don't do that. So, like we're very, what's the word, like specialized in terms of the services we offer. And then probably the other difference too, and I know there's other businesses fall in this category, but we generally, there's always exceptions, but we generally work with more established businesses in kind of like the 7, 8 figure turnover range. Because and the reason for that, in case listeners are going, why is that? Like it's more because again, usually those types of businesses will have systems and structure and a size in place where we're very confident that we can generate an ROI versus startups.
So, what's a common problem that your clients face, and how do you solve it, Derek?
So the two main ones for us would be growth or businesses looking to scale, unsure how to do so. Yeah, without going down the whole digital marketing industry rabbit hole, things are evolving rapidly. So I think, businesses that are looking to scale are unsure. And then also with the unsure kind of comment, I think also businesses that may, because again, we work with typically more established businesses that might have already dabbled in or actually already have their own marketing teams, and they don't know what marketing channels are working. They don't know what marketing channels are best to pursue. They don't know how much they should be spending on ads. They don't know what return they should be getting. Those kind of problems are the ones that we solve, and we solve it just through the way in which we measure. So sometimes something as simple as being able to measure where your phone calls are coming from, what channel, yeah, there's a myriad things that we measure, but yeah, that's what we do to help give businesses the confidence that their marketing is working and which channels to focus more on.
Who's your ideal referral, Derek?
Um, Professional, so again, we're industry agnostic. But I think an ideal referral for us, and I use professional services, so I'll stick with it. But it can also be trades businesses, or I mentioned education earlier, but businesses who either I got to be careful with how I frame this, not to be negative, but like businesses that have had maybe like not so favorable experience with their marketing, and maybe like don't trust SEO or don't have faith in SEO, because we do deal with a few of those types of businesses, Tony. So businesses that are struggling to know like what return that they're getting from their marketing, and potentially are starting to become a little bit skeptical about it, they're a great referral for us.
Amazing. So let's play a little word association game now, Derek. So I just want to go through and I'm going to say some words and I'm looking for your response, a short answer, a quick response. Networking,
Relationships.
referrals.
Partnerships, is that too simple? Partnerships, too late.
That's okay. Success,
Perseverance.
coffee.
Happy wife. Not a story for that.
Giver's gain,
Reciprocity.
sport.
Inspiration. Brisbane Lions too.
Well, that was my next question. Was going to be your team. Is that Brisbane Lions?
Yeah, no, yeah. Inspiration. I love sport.
Fantastic. Team
Trust.
and BNI.
Growth. Most definitely growth.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you for doing that. Derek, if you could give one piece of advice to someone who wants to grow their business through networking, what would it be?
This isn't my advice. This is from someone who I mentioned earlier, Lisa Gill, who I respect greatly. You get out of it what you put in. It sounds so obvious, but it really is. The BNI system. I mean, I'm preaching converted here, right? And I haven't been in this system very long, but I've seen and heard like amazing stories. Our own story, I feel like, is pretty amazing in a short space of time. And you get out of it what you put in. So anyone that's kind of, in a similar boat or wishes to grow through BNI, you're in the right spot. But yeah, just you know, um, you put the effort in, and it will come back to you in multiples. And sometimes not immediately. Sometimes it'll take a while to come back. But yeah.
Well, I think there's a bit of patience there. But look, BNI's been around for 40 years and it hasn't, been there for 40 years by accident. It's there because the system works. And like I touched on earlier, it doesn't operate on its own. So you've got to work that system. And like you said, you'll get out of things what you put into them. So great piece of wisdom, Derek. Thank you. What's one exciting thing happening in your business right now that you'd like the listeners or the viewers to know about?
Yeah, so we're expanding, um, and like as we're recording, pretty much half of our clients now are interstate. So we are well equipped to assist. We're based in Brisbane for anyone that doesn't know that, but we're well equipped to assist businesses all over Australia. And I think one exciting thing, like in our industry, that is, like something that I'm really, keeping hopefully ahead of the game on, which I think is relevant, is I mentioned it earlier, is AI. Like because I feel like again, keeping in mind what my business, so I'm kind of biased, but I feel like people are always going to want to search for information, search for products, search for services, but the method in which they're doing that with artificial intelligence now is evolving. Like there's some things that are still staying the same, but businesses are going to need to stay current. And so I think, for businesses that maybe are unsure if they or how they're affected, and what, that may kind of have flow-on effects to their marketing strategies. Yeah, I think that's really exciting. And so, yeah, we were always happy to have a chat, chew the fat with anyone and any business owners in any endeavors on those topics.
So just on that, so how can listeners learn more about your business or get in touch with you, Derek, to chew the fat?
Yep. So I'm very active on LinkedIn. My profile is just my name, Derek Burden, or our business, DCB Digital. You can find us on LinkedIn, and our website is, or our web URL is, dcbdigital.com.au. So, yeah, would love to get in touch with anyone in and outside the network.
Thanks, Derek. Well, that wraps up another episode of the BNI Effect. My thanks to Derek Burden for sharing his insights with us and showing us what's possible in BNI and in a relatively short space of time as well. If you're a BNI member, why don't you take one idea from today's episode and see if you can use it this week? Alternatively, if you're a visitor to BNI, I hope you've seen how powerful this community can be. Subscribe to hear more real stories from Brisbane BNI members. Until next time, give more, trust more, grow more.